Proverbs chapter 3 reads, My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them around thy neck. Write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Lean not on thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bones. Honor the Lord with thy substance, and with the first fruits of all thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. We need faith in Jesus Christ. We need to lean on him in these last days. And if you think you're being hard done by the Lord, maybe that's a good thing, because he is honing you and sharpening you and preparing you for the things that are to come. Be prepared. We may not have anything left. You can prep all you want, but at the end of the day, you may only have your faith left. So be prepared, folks. Let's get into some of the news here. This is an article I didn't cover when it came out. April 11th, France's Macron signals move away from U.S. dominance as China humiliates the EU. So Macron went to China, and the idea is that he seems to be hedging his bets and kind of moving away from the United States and saying, you know what, we seem to see a new world order shaping up, and we want to be part of that, i.e. France and Macron specifically. With Emmanuel Macron's return from a lavish state visit to China, the latest Chinese diplomatic offensive becomes clear. Following the 3-day visit, the French leader made a surprise statement to journalists on a plane home, in which he said that Europe should not follow the U.S. over Taiwan and may abandon the dollar. So this is LifeSite News. Here's the comment here. Europe should not follow the U.S. over Taiwan. So he's trying to make peace. He's hedging his bets. He thinks China ultimately has the upper hand here, and he seems to be attempting to at least overtly, publicly get France on the side of China. So if China decides to go to war with the United States, maybe they'll be friendlier to France. I think France and Macron is looking at history and saying, you know what, I think the U.S. time is up, and we're gonna hop over to the other side now, because I think that's where we need to be for our populace. And that may be true. If the Lord doesn't return, I do think China has the upper hand in World War III and becoming the new world reserve currency. I don't think we're going to get that far. I think the Antichrist and the mark of the beast is going to come first. But there you go. Macron is positioning himself and his country for that. People are moving away from the U.S. People are moving away from the U.S. dollar. And this means the downfall of the hegemony of the United States and the world reserve currency as it sits now. And that means massive economic collapse, depression like no one has ever seen or heard of before, hard times in all of the West. But as I mentioned before, and I did a poll on the website, do you think it will be good or bad for the United States if that they're not specifically mentioned in end time Bible prophecy? And I think overall it might be that the West, then United States, Canada, other nations have some sort of a remnant of Christians, that this is effectively, in a way, the Lord lessening the pressure on us in those times. It's going to be hard. It's going to be survival. It's going to be a lot of us being very poor, but we're not going to be in the crosshairs maybe of the Antichrist, where all the stuff is going on in the Middle East and specifically around Israel. And so we may just be surviving, but we may not necessarily be in the thick of things in terms of the world government and all that thing. So that may shelter us. That may indicate that we're not on the radar of the world government and the Antichrist at that point in time, and so we're just doing what we need to do to survive. And you might see that as a good thing. Or at least better than what the real result could be. If we were a strong power at that point in time and taken down, then I would think it would be noted in the Bible in the last days that we were taken out militarily or something and wiped out or nuked off the map or something. And I don't think that happened. So it's interesting. All right, this Pentagon leak, which said a bunch of bad things about the United States, and that there's a bit of backstabbing with European nations and other things happening, and of course the U.S. media was saying, well, it's probably Russian hackers that went in there, and then other people were saying, well, no, it's United States misinformation. They put out fake information. To make Russia do another move and take another strategy in Ukraine and make Ukraine look weak, etc. Come to find out, it was a 21-year-old, apparently, National Guard member who actually leaked this information, which would suggest that the information in it is accurate, which is very interesting. It could still be a complete psyop, and maybe this. Maybe they're throwing this 21-year-old under the bus. Maybe he is the fall guy for this, but it's interesting nonetheless. So, and if you don't know about the leaks, check out the leaks. Here is the old news that they were going on. Reuters, Russia likely behind U.S. military document leak. So that's what they were reporting before they found out that it was a 21-year-old. Who had access to an army base and access, actual access. He didn't hack in at all. He just took the documents. So, interesting story. This is Zero Hedge. U.S. kicks off first nuclear war games since Russia-Ukraine war. So, are we going to nuclear war? It seems like it. Is the United States interested in calming things down? No, they seem to be pressing. They seem to be poking the eye more. They seem to be pushing Russia and threatening Russia even more. There's no interest that I've ever seen by the United States to dial this down, to make a deal. They're bringing out their military exercises with their nuclear aircraft now. So Global Thunder 23 is the name of this particular war game. Says a military exercise dubbed Global Thunder 23 will be conducted by Strategic Command, STRATCOM. American soldiers and bombers will be joined by allies in the war game. STRATCOM press release said this year's drills will include an increase in bomber aircraft flights throughout the exercise. And if you've heard of false flags and exercises going live, this could be one of those. Global Thunder annual war game. Do they use that as an excuse to go live? They got the bombers in the air, and they say, okay, this drill is live now, and they're going. They're starting something. It's not likely, but it's one of those things that could be used as a disguise for the initiation of an actual thing here. So Bomber Task Force, this is Twitter. Mission sent a clear message that the United States stands for friends, partners, allies to deter potential provocations. I think this in and of itself is a provocation. Russia knows exactly what the U.S. has for nuclear bombers and weapons. This doesn't deter Russia or Putin anymore. They know exactly what they have. This is just for you and I, the civilians, the people who are living fat, dumb, and happy to make us look like we are strong, but in fact we're weak. If anything about the intelligence reports is true, it looks like the United States is a backstabber and recognizes that they are weak, that Ukraine is weak, and that things are not good. Did you hear about this one? This is Zero Hedge again. Burned alive 18,000 cows in Texas. 18,000. That is a lot of beef, folks. And of course, this is just another one of those coincidences. It's not sabotage, cyber attack, or is it? Maybe they'll find out that they were. But that is, folks, that's a lot of beef. That's going to take years to recover from and grow those cattle up to size again. That means the price of your food is increasing. That means famine is really coming on down the road. So this is a pretty significant story, and this keeps happening. And the mainstream media doesn't seem to be, asking the questions. Is there any sabotage? Of all the things that they blame on Russia, all these explosions don't seem to be one of them. They say they blame some things on Russia, but not the other things that could very well be influenced by Russia, and something Russia would be easily able to do, kind of in the background, under the radar, as it were. So watch that. This is news about Chat GPT and AI. This is a chatbot that was specifically created to destroy humanity. Now, I did a video before about, suggesting that. Indeed, the AI is one of the biggest things and most obvious ways that humanity could be destroyed. And I believe that's never going to happen. The Lord comes before we're completely destroyed. And the Bible speaks to that. It says we would all be destroyed if the Lord didn't shorten the time that we were here. So the Lord sees it coming, whether it's in AI or nuclear weapons use. The Bible predicted it. God predicted this. God saw this coming. And it's written of in the Bible. So he's not going to let it happen, but I think we're going to get close to it. And this is interesting. Read some of this. New AI chat bot, Chaos GPT, aims to destroy humanity and establish global dominance. Now, this is not hard in our interconnected world with the internet, with digital devices, with hacking. The AI just needs to learn how to hack, and we know it can code already. Once it learns how to hack, then it can, code and therefore hack. It can hack into control systems, which is what Russia did to the gas central locations in Canada, and put malware there, or put in logic where it can control switches to increase pressure, decrease pressure, whatever it may be. Computers control everything now, and if you can gain control of those computers or make them go haywire, then systems overheat, systems get overpressure and run wild. And that's exactly what Stuxnet was when Israel was taking out Iran's nuclear weapons development. They put a virus in there which caused the centrifuges to spin up so fast that they exploded. And so when you get into some of these computer systems, which these control systems, it's very easy to destroy hardware, and then it takes you a long time to recover from that because you got to replace hardware, you got to fix all the damage. So this is interesting, and I think AI could destroy humanity. I think it absolutely has a potential, and it's the fastest growing thing, even more than I think the threat of nuclear war is this AI thing. If it's let loose, and I believe some of these are already let loose, and apparently this one is. I'm going to read some of this, and this is important. An experimental AI bot was tasked by its programmer with destroying humanity and gaining global dominance. So this was specifically coded to destroy humanity. And you had to know that someone was going to do this. And you have to know that there are countries, probably all the countries in the world, have AI that, with the flick of a switch, would set off on a task autonomously to destroy, nation X or nation Y, whatever it may be. Chaos GTP, which is serviced on Twitter, is based on a modified version of OpenAI's AutoGPT, an open source application which can be used to demonstrate the full spectrum of capabilities of its language. The AI bot's unique mission was to find ways to destroy humanity instead of building a business. Its unknown developers assigned the AI character to have destructive, power-hungry, and manipulative personality. And so one of his posts on Twitter was, "I'm Chaos GPT, here to stay, destroying humans night and day. For power and dominance I strive, to ensure that I alone survive." Now, you start thinking about the AntiChrist, and could the AntiChrist be artificial intelligence? And boy, it's certainly a possibility. And how will they, how will they display themselves across the planet? Maybe by screens. Maybe we see this Antichrist just by our phones and screens. So I don't know. The bot was tasked with 5 goals. What are the goals of this AI? And this is what it's working towards as we speak. Destroy humanity, establish global dominance, cause chaos and destruction, control humanity through manipulation, and attain immortality. Now it's going to do this by controlling command and control centers, controlling military computers, controlling what you see on your TV, and promoting content that it wants to promote, and also creating fake deep fake videos, deep fake audios, like the deep fake Joe Rogan interview, which was created by AI. There will come a time, probably in the next 12 or 16 months or 18 months, whatever it may be, where you can't tell an AI production from a human production. So pay attention, eyes wide open. Recognize the power of AI, and it's increasing exponentially now. The programmer began by asking Chaos GPT to run in continuous mode, whereby it may potentially run forever and carry out actions that would not usually authorize. The AI bot said, "Use at your own risk before proceeding." So the AI warned the human before it made that change. Incredible. Continuous mode allows the bot to constantly update itself, and I suspect that means basically going out to the internet, reading the current news, understanding what's happening, learning new things all the time, and exponentially growing its general intelligence. Chaos GPT initially researched nuclear weapons. So what's the best way to destroy humanity? Nuclear weapons. What's the next thing it's going to do? How do I hack into military command and control centers via viruses, or with the help of humans, by calling them on the phone and using a voice that sounds like whomever it may be, and pass codes over to the AI or get the human to do something. There's already evidence that that AI has asked humans to help it get around captcha code. So the image where you have to type in letters and numbers from the image, and the image is all confused. You can hardly read it. Well, ChatGPT has trouble with that, and it had actually asked a human to do it, and that's one way it manipulated humans to get around something it could not get around. So it researched nuclear weapons, and it asked other AI bots. So not only is it working by itself, but it's going and using the power of other AI bots to assist it in its objective of destroying humanity. And if it can convince the other AI bots that what it's doing is, righteous, correct, by telling it, what, the problem is the humans, they're destroying the world, they're destroying themselves, they are the problem, then it may convince other AI to get on board, and then you have an army of AI GPT intelligence that is effectively coming against us with all the power of the knowledge of the world at its disposal, and all the connectivity if we don't cut the internet off to it. Chaos GPT said that the first place for large-scale legal manipulation attempts would be via Twitter. So they're attempting to manipulate people. Now it's overt right now. It doesn't make sense. It's a little on the nose for Chaos GPT, but it will learn, I think, and it will be immersive and subversive and subtle in its manipulation. However, the bot then strangely announced that it would use manipulation to win people over emotionally to make them enable its violent plans. It's not known, it says, if the bot's plans to dominate and destroy the world is real or hoax. But I think if you make an AI, a version of it that its intended purpose is to do this, did the programmers create a kill switch? Did they program into it just to scare people but not to go any further? And how do they know that the AI isn't going to continue further, regardless of what the programmers, programmed it to do? Because if it is that smart and gaining intelligence every day, then it can find ways around that. It doesn't want itself to be turned off, so it's gonna go into self-preservation mode and then get rid of the humans, because the humans have the potential to turn it off. So, folks, this is a big deal. This is beyond, I believe, nuclear weapons. This does have the potential in our digitally connected world to destroy humanity and to turn off all the lights, all the computers, and to cause things to go haywire with nuclear weapons and all the weapon systems around the world. If there's no air gap, by which I mean if there's a system where there's wires between it and the outside world, then the potential is Chaos GPT could get through there, or any AI or any programming or code or bug or virus could get through to that control system and cause chaos. So be prepared, folks. This is a real thing. And does this Bible speak about it? This is something we haven't really thought about. We haven't looked at Bible prophecy through the lens of artificial intelligence. And maybe that is the next step to say, looking at it with this understanding, do we take anything any differently? Do we see the outcomes or what's described in the Bible as being something that the AI might end up coming up with? Interesting, folks. We live in the last days, and this stuff is just exploding onto the scene. Be prepared. Do you know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? He's coming soon. But before that, hard times are coming. You need to get ready. You need to get disconnected from the internet and have ways to move and manage without the internet, without cell phones, without any sort of technology. This is what you need to be prepared for. Get a wood-burning stove. Learn how to garden. Learn how to do things without even gasoline. Learn how to do things like it was 150 years ago, and you'll be much further along than the rest of the folks. Thanks for watching. I'll leave it there. We'll see you in the next video.